will not do it because 2013 is not all that we are saddled with as a nation. I think the bigger picture is, do we want 3 years or do we want 4 years? And find a resolution if we need to find it. Exactly. And that 3 years or 4 years is going forward. Yes. Which one do you prefer and why?
Yeah, for me, the issue is when we meet the requirement. If clearly government want to meet the requirement for 4 years or 3 years, then whichever way government will go is accepted. Because there are certain issues that were raised. Okay. And the report is saying that if you meet those requirements, then of course, government can do 3 years or government can do 4 years based on the capacity of what government want to do. So you are saying
from your answer that we haven't met the requirements
for
either
for the 3 years or for the 4 years or for the 3 years, we've not met the requirement.
Interesting.
But what I'm saying is that when it comes to infrastructure development, government is doing very well. Okay. But when it comes to management and efficiency and teacher motivation, it's one of the areas that for me, government is not really doing.
Right. If we are not meeting either 3 or 4, we can't stand still and say we are going to meet either this or that. So, whilst we progress, there must be one which we aim for, which we think is the best.
As civil society,
which one should we aim for?
For me, if government want to go for 3 years, then the requirement.
Which one should we go for?
It's it's very difficult for either. Yes, it's very difficult for me to say. It's very difficult for me
to clean up something you want to say. I think it's always useful.
Yes, please. I think that the Honorable Deputy Director General mentioned that, I mean, we have to, if you want to amend a certain policy, you have to go through the legal process and all of that. We know that perfectly. And I don't, Nooks doesn't see it desirable that we keep doing the back and forth thing. Right. But we think that if you look at what the statistics say, what the figures are saying, there is every compelling reason why the 4 years should be viable. We know that we'll have to go back for an amendment, just like it was done to revert to the 3 years. Have to go through an amendment process. But if there is a serious reason why we have to go through that process, I don't see why there is a certain caveat that stops us from going back. And so for us, the matter of law, that if there is the need to go back to the 4 years, we don't think that by some illusion of a kind, it will just be reverted. No. But we don't see it viable.
Let me ask you this question. Yeah. We have the 2 streams now.
Exactly.
Next calendar year, we'll have 2 writing the same exam.
Yeah, it's supposed to end in 2013, where you have the Form 3s and the Form 4s, right? To clear the Form 4s off.
To clear the Form 4s off.
Good. So that you know.
What are you suggesting that at this moment we do to those people who are originally going to take the 4-year path?
No, exactly what I'm saying. That so next year, what we recommend now is next year, make only the Form 4s right. So that we create a situation where good.
We'll also go and do a Form 4 when the Form 4s have gone.
Because you know we have created a situation where we have backlogs already in the system, and so if we create another situation where, apart from the backlogs, you're going to create a situation where deliberately you have 2-year groups plus a backlog, then we're going out of hand. And so there has to be some deliberate attempts to really explain the situations. Let's not leave it to chance that, you know what, when we get there, we'll look at how we'll deal with the issues. For us, we think that this particular year group of SHS students have had the back and forth thing too much. And to say that even when they complete 2, they should have to come and go through this dilemma again, we think that we're asking too much from this particular
The reason I asked you that earlier question about whether your lead issue is the 2 streams in 2013 or not, was to find out from you whether you think that in the long run is the 4-year system that's good for Ghana, or your consideration is basically that in 2013 there are 2 streams to deal with. That is my concern.
If you look at,
because I'm thinking of my children growing up.
Exactly.
And I want them to go through the best one. Are you thinking of the best one, 3 or 4, or simply because of the year 2013?
Both. I think that we're looking at qualitative, quantitative. If you look at what the statistics say, we've run the 3-year system since '94, and we've seen the kind of results it's yielded.
Okay.
The first batch of a 4-year group have produced a result that's by far phenomenal, by far the standards. And so you realize that a system has been tried for 10 years and over, and we keep getting a certain trend of results.
Give me some of those statistics, because I think I saw some of them in your statement. Let's see.
I think that generally what I did here was to lump up.
Yes, it
so that I gave an...
Give me the lump up. I need my viewers to follow
you would have a situation where the 3 years would have passes, normally you deal with the compulsory subjects, the 3 compulsory, because those other ones, the variables are too many. And so when you deal with the 3 compulsory subjects and you have passes hovering between 30% and 40% for the 3-year system, and you create a situation where the 4-year system is producing between 60-70 of the passes. Then
for the 3 compulsory subjects.
4 years. So you realize that some variables have changed, and the variable that has changed here is the time factor. And so for us, if you create an independent variable that's over there, and you have other variables, and you keep changing them, and one that has been changed has yielded a result, then you must tell that pay attention to that particular variable that caused a change. Because I'm sure we have tried the remunerations for some time, the teacher incentives, the equipping our science resource centers and all of that. And we realize that at a certain point in time, it is in quote the so-called big schools who kind of produce the desired results. And if you look at the number of schools that are into the deprived communities and all of that, when a policy is being passed, my thinking is that you must look at what would favor the majority. Because we had situations where there are some of our colleagues who came to SHS first year, wrote and passed and left us. So they did for just 1 year. And so are we saying that because some people can pass in 1 year, we should make a policy that says that SHS duration is 1 year?
Let me ask you a question which probably is outrageous, but I ask it all the same. So for the 2 streams, 3 and 4, the year 2013, the universities decided to run a certain system where maybe timetables are run in such a way that one group attends lectures from 6 a.m. to, let's say, 2 p.m., which is possible because it happens in some parts of the world, where one institution can produce 3 sets of a certain group of professionals in a given year.
Almost.
Or more.
Most of the institutions are already doing that.
No. I don't know that to be happening in Legon. They are not doing that. I went to University of Ghana. The system I'm talking about is not happening there. The system I'm talking about is a situation where in the law faculty, as an example, from 6 a.m. to 12, I have classmates who I'll never meet because they also attend the law faculty at the same time that I do for the same period from 12 to 6. And it's possible to even have some attend from 6 to 10 or 12 where the professional group goes there. For the same facility, we can have 3 streams who don't clash. And sometimes the lecturers don't even clash and all of that and produce. Assuming that we were able to do that for 2013, would you let the argument go or you go onto the other legs of it?
I think that the strongest point that we've raised is the admission crisis for us.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm asking this question.
Good. And so if the essence of asking us to revive the debate, for us, like we've said, we don't desire this back and forth thing. If we can get a concrete solution at this time, that you know what, in 2013, this is what, for instance, like it's coming right now. Let's look at a situation where we create some system where you run this and it's possible to admit the 2-year groups, like it would have been admitted for just 1 year group. In that case, because we think that this one stands tall to solve the issue.
Okay. So in that
because,
case,
I mean, government has said it's in the process of, equipping the libraries, resourcing our science resource centers, and doing all of that, because that is the caveat that the animal committee put in, that let's run a 3-year, provided we can do all of these, the teacher incentives, the remuneration, the facilities, and all of that. So if we're in the process of changing all those variables, then it means that the 3-year system, we're meeting the conditions. Good. Once we're meeting that, then we're making sense over there.
But what happens then to the fact that, according to you, the 4-year program is what is producing better results?
Good. It's producing better results because of the absence of all of those facilities. So when all those facilities are absent, what is happening is that someone might need a longer duration because, for instance, you have to imagine a test tube if you don't have one in your lab. And we think that the reason why someone would pass, for instance, still without the test tube is because he has a longer duration to still consult and do a few things. And so the time duration is making up for the absence of all of those facilities. And so if you are scrapping it off, then we must make sure that we're providing all that which makes
I give you is just to solve the 2013 problem as an example.
If it is
possible.
If it's viable.
That's why I gave you, as I said, I caveated the question.
Exactly.
It's based on an assumption that if that can happen only for the year 2013,
the ministry
would you still
said
insist?
That we're not getting all those critical questions answered in that manner, and that is what we want, because we don't want to leave it to chance.
And I hope I can get a simple, direct answer.
Sure.
Which to your mind is better, 3 years or 4 years for us?
For now, 4 years.
For now, 4 years. I'm talking about irrespective of 2013.
Irrespective of 2013, if those facilities are not present, then the 4 year is viable.
Then the 4 years
is viable.
So whether we solve 2013 or not.
If we still do not position the institutions to be able to equip those schools in the deprived communities, because that is where really the problem
the issues
is.
are. Okay, let's go. Let me go to the far end again and go back to Charles and ask you. You have said quite rightly that at the moment the dispensation is such that this is what the law says, this is what is there, this is what's clear, and this is what we are running as clearly as that. But from where you sit, you are an implementer. You have implemented the old system. You've been with education for a very long time. You've told us the other day you've been teaching from all the levels, even before going to university and all of that. So you understand the system. You've seen the O level, you've seen the A level. You've seen all the what we're having, where we're running. You've seen SSS, now SHS. You've seen 3, you've seen 4. Which one to your mind, from where you sit, is the one that you think can put this matter to rest? I'm not looking at this in political colors, even though we know that that's how the debate has gone for a long time in this country. Which one to your mind is best for us?
In fact, to answer this would require looking at a range of variables. The decision that compelled government to reduce the 17 years and therefore bring SHS to 3 years was largely to look at the comparative advantage both in terms of training and readiness to work. And again, somebody will translate that into economic rate of return, because it became very clear that many of all of us who went through the old system now think that we wish we had more time to do a lot more. But we have been constrained largely by the kind of education system which allowed us to enter the world of work when we were almost 25, 26, 27. So the economic rate of return to both the individual and the state is minimized. So that was one factor. Now, not to talk about the other private economic factors to parents. Now, when it comes to the issue of international competitiveness, then you have to situate your educational system with what is happening in other countries. And around Ghana, you know, a lot of countries were shifting. And in fact, well, of course, except for in Britain, they have still kept their system. Absolutely. But in a lot of countries, they have found ways to increasingly reduce the duration of schooling, so that children or learners can maximize learning and then ensure that they come. So we in this country want to go that path. We do not want to constrain anybody with too many years in school. In fact, part of this reason is why we sought to take a second look at even the concept of repetition. Because again, if you do a very strict examination and cut it at a certain point and say that some group of people cannot go because they did not get 40% or something, when they had other capabilities, was not being fair to them. So you look at a range of things. And for me, I would still go for the 3 years. And I think the 3 years provides us with as much space and time for the children to make it up. This argument about the 4 years has done, I wish I could remember the words he used, incredibly well, and this one is mine. But
the statement actually says that it's the best so far.
Yes.
It says it is undeniable that the 4 years has yielded the best ever SHS results since the system was implemented.
Yes, but the point is I don't even know what the basis of comparison is.
Three compulsory subjects.
Yes, I don't, even then, again, I don't know how you compare a system that has been running over the years with the graphs that will show either like this and like that and all of that to a single year, you know, which has happened on 1 year. I mean, I find it very strange.
But we are able to say which is the best year so far, isn't it? I wouldn't say.
No, what is best? I mean, I don't even know how you are going to compare 1 year's output to a range of years where we've had swings in the performance of candidates to just 1 year. Because there have been years when, in the 3-year period, where children have performed very, very well. You know, so again, it's very difficult for me, for anybody, you know, thinking scientifically, you know, to come and tell me that, oh, the 4 years is the best. I can't take it. It's difficult for me to agree with that individual.
And the use of the 3 subjects.
Yes, even then, I still, you know,
is it representative enough?
You're taking just 1 year's events to compare events that have happened across the years.
Your point is that if it has been running, you said since 94?
Yes, since 90. Yeah, the first exam was taken in 93.
93.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So to date, to 2011, will be how many years?
Well, in fact, I think make it 2000 and is it 7 or 9? Yeah. Oh, 2009. 2009. Yes.
So that will be how many years? 26 years.